Hello friends, now I am going to start second unit, that is relational data model and SQL. So basically in this unit we will discuss more about SQL queries and we will see how we can use SQL queries during the practical implementation because as you know I have divided this is two part. One is for lab session, second is for theory session. So this is theory session. In lab session you can see all the SQL queries, how and when you can use on the depend on the condition on the your requirement. So basically in this lecture I will discuss introduction of relational model and what is advantage and limitation of relational model, and what are the basic components of relational model, as well as which type of terminology we use in a relational data model. So as we know, storing data and managing information is a very much important task of any computer. And also, as we know, what is basically meaning of data model? Data model is just like a model to store the data and manage the information. Now, there is one thing: the way in which information is organized can have a profound effect on how easy it is to assess and manage. कहने का मतलब है कि किसी मॉडल डेटा मॉडल में अगर डेटा इंसर्ट करना इजी है, देन एसेसिंग डेटा विल बी आल्सो इजी. आप इसको प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ में भी देख सकते हैं. अ, अगर कहीं आपको जाना इजी है तो वहां से वापस आना भी इजी है. Sometimes it's depend upon situation that can be vary, but in case of data model, if inserting data is easy, then accessing data from that particular data model will be also easy. And the simplest way to organize data to store in table, that is simplest, and that is relational model, where we are storing or managing information in form of table. And table is a backbone of any relational data model, because everything we are doing with table in relational data model. So the organization of data into collection of two-dimensional table called relation. So basically, uh, in relational data model, table is called as a relation, and each table is a group of column and row, where a column represents attributes of an entity and row represents record. So basically, in relational data model, column is also called attributes, and row is also called records, or tuple, you can say. And the table name and column name are helpful to interpret the meaning of value in each row. Definitely, अगर आप कोई टेबल डिजाइन करते हैं, अगर मान लीजिए मैंने टेबल का नाम रखा है स्टूडेंट, okay, so if your table name is student, means it's representing yes, this table is going to contain data related with student, because the table name is student. And also, uh, on the basis of attributes or column name, also we can find which type data this particular column is going to store. ओके, मान लीजिए मैंने कोई टेबल क्रिएट किया, दैट इज स्टूडेंट, और उसमें मैंने लिखा है स्टूडेंट आईडी, फर्स्ट नेम, लास्ट नेम, सिटी. इसका मतलब ये है कि इन कॉलम स्टूडेंट आईडी आई एम गोइंग टू स्टोर स्टूडेंट आईडी. फर्स्ट नेम, देयर विल बी फर्स्ट नेम ऑफ स्टूडेंट विल बी स्टोर्ड. लास्ट नेम मींस इन दैट पर्टिकुलर कॉलम लास्ट नेम ऑफ स्टूडेंट विल बी stored. As like city, that is going to contain information about city. So basically, my meaning is to say, on the basis of table name and column name, also we can guess कि which type of information that particular column is going to store, or that particular table is going to contain. As like I have make a you know table as like a course, means that is going to contain all the information related to course. So in the former relational model terminology, a row is called tuple, and column header is called attributes, and the table is called a relation. Now, so, talking about advantages of relational data model. So, here I am not going to read PPT. Okay, just I I just want to try to convey my message in a very simple language so you can easily understand. Okay, beside reading the PPT. Yes, if you want to read this PPT, just pause, click on the pause button, and you can read. Okay. And if you want this PPT, also I can share you. Just drop a message, and definitely I will happy to share you. Okay. So first one is simple model. So compare to all the database, all the types of databases, the relational data model is much simpler because here by using a single query we can access the data, we can insert the data, we can delete the data. Everything can be done very quickly by writing one or two line of SQL query. Now data accuracy. So as we know, uh, in relational data based model, we are using multiple table, and each table is connected to each other by use of primary key and foreign key concept. बेसिकली जब आगे हम प्राइमरी की और फॉरेन की के बारे में पढ़ेंगे तो आपको डिटेल में बताऊंगा कि हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू वर्क. बट in relational data model there is a concept of key as like primary key and foreign key, and these keys are used to create connection between table. Okay, to create link between the table. So due to this property, means having primary key and foreign key, there is no replication of data, there is no chance of duplication of data. Hence, the accuracy of data in relational data management is more than any other database system. Now, in relational data model, data accessing is very much easy. Okay, basically, in relational database system, there is no any pattern or pathway for accessing the data, because here we are talking about hierarchical database management system. So there was a predefined path. By following that path, you have to access the data. In network database system, there are multiple paths available, and you have to choose a path to access the डेटा. कहने का मतलब है कि हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया था कि हियरार्किकल डेटाबेस मॉडल की बात करें तो वहां पे क्या है, एक प्री डिफाइंड पाथ होता था कि बाय यूजिंग दैट पाथ यू कैन एक्सेस द डेटा. नेटवर्क डेटाबेस सिस्टम में क्या था कि मल्टीपल पाथ अवेलेबल थे, बाय यूजिंग एनी पाथ यू कैन एक्सेस द डेटा. बट इन रिलेशनल डेटा मॉडल there is no pattern or pathway for accessing the data. You have to write a single query. By writing single query you can access the data. Anyone who can write the SQL query can access the data using join queries and conditional statement. One can combine, all or any number of table to accessing the data as per the requirement. So in this you can use some condition. You can also face some condition based data. Also you can delete on the base of condition. Also, you can combine table by using join process. So there are various method available to accessing the data. If you want to access data for all table, just you have to mention a star as like select star from this table name. So you will get data. If you want to data from a specific column, then you have to make just mention the column name, and you can access the specific data. As like suppose there is a student table, and I want to access all the data from the student table. Just I have to write select star from student. Student is student table name. So you will get all the data from the student table. And suppose only you want to access first name of that particular table, just write select first name from student. You will get all the data from the student table. Now, data integrity, we have already discussed. Or relational data integrating in a database management system is the process of maintaining an accuracy and consistency of data using rules and constraints. Means here, talking about accuracy, suppose, oh, sorry, on a column, I have just applied a check constraint by mentioning this column cannot accept value more than 25. So when you are going to enter more than 25, this will generate an error. So basically, these rules have to prevent the insertion of incorrect or inconsistent data. Now talking about flexibility. Oh, so a data analyst can insert, update or delete tables, column or individual data in the given database system. Okay. And this is very much easy because we have already discussed, we have some method as like alter method. By altering, we can add a column, you can delete a column. Also, you can change the data type of any column. So there are various method available to insert, update, or delete table in database management system. So this is, flexibility we have available. Normalization. So basically, normalization is a process to design your database or your data model in a very standard way, whether this is table or column. So we will discuss whenever we will discuss about the normalization. I will discuss each and every rule that is related to normalization. Yes, there is much security compared to the database model. Because why I'm saying this? Because in in relational data model we are using large number of table. Suppose in database you are using 10 table and just you want 5 table to someone ki yes, that user can edit, delete or insert data in those particular table. So only that user can access those 5 tables. Remaining 5 table he or she cannot access because he or she having no permission to access those table. So in this manner your data is secure because this is going to work on the permission basis. If someone has authorization to access the data, so he or she can access. कहने का मतलब है कि मान लीजिए आपने 10 टेबल डेटाबेस सिस्टम में क्रिएट किया हुआ है, आप चाहते हैं कोई पर्टिकुलर यूजर एक्स केवल 5 टेबल को एक्सेस कर सके। ओके, तो वो सिर्फ 5 टेबल को ही एक्सेस कर पाएगा क्योंकि आपने उसी हिसाब से उसको परमिशन दी है। अगर आपने किसी यूजर बी को दिया है कि वो इसको एडिट कर सकता है, तो ही or she can only edit that particular table, means other table is already secure. And also you can find who have made changes, yeah, who have accessed your table. All the facility available in relational data model, and this is making it very good data model. So as the data is divided amongst the table of the relational database system, it is possible to make a few table to be tagged as confidential and other not. So this segregation is easily implemented with a relational data management system, unlike other databases. When a data analysis try to log in with a username and password, the database can set boundaries for their level of access by providing admission only to the table that they are allowed to work on, depending on their access level. Also, this relational data model is very much feasible for future modification. So any number of new or existing table or column of the data can be inserted or modified depending on the condition provided by keeping up the basic qualities of the relational database management system. Now talking about limitation, yes, if relational data model have some advantage, then there should be also some limitation, and there's have okay. First one is cost. The cost involved in relational data model is quite expensive. For setting up a relational database, there must be separate software which needs to be purchased, and a professional technician should be hired to maintain this system. And all this can be costly, especially for the businesses with the small budget. Performance, yes, the performance of relational data model depend on the number of tables. If there are a greater number of tables, the response given to queries will be slower, and thus a relational database base is known to be a slower database model as well. Physical storage, yes. If you are increasing the capacity of data, definitely we require some physical storage and you need to purchase it. Complexity, sometimes, yes, this is very much complex if you want to assess data on the more based on the condition. So this can be complicated and complex also. And if you are using, large number of table in any database system, if you want to transfer all the data from one system to another system. So in this process, your data can be lost. Okay, and there is also limitation of structure. The fields that are present on a relational database has limitation, and limitation are in that sense that it cannot be accommodate more information. Despite if more information is provided, it may lead to the data loss. Therefore, it is necessary to describe the exact amount of volume which the field will be given. So basically, in meaning of this, when you are creating a table, we use char, var, so you must try to mention the amount of space. I like var in bracket 20. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि that particular column can store 20 character. अगर आप मेंशन नहीं करते हैं तो बाय डिफॉल्ट जो कैर वैर कैर होता है वो वन लेता है. अगर जैसे ही आपने एक से ज्यादा कैरेक्टर इंसर्ट करने की कोशिश की, दैट विल जनरेट एरर. और इससे ये भी क्या होता है कि हम डिसाइड कर लेते हैं कि वो कितना स्पेस दैट पर्टिकुलर कॉलम कैन कंटेन. अगर हम नहीं करते हैं तो सम टाइम इट्स क्रिएट प्रॉब्लम फॉर अस. नाउ talking about components and relational terminology. So basically the main principle of relational data model depend on the three components, and the three components are structural, manipulating and integrating. So the structural component is concerned with how data is represented, and the manipulative component is concerned with how data is operated on, and the integrating component is concerned with determining which stage are valid for a database. Now, first is domain. Okay. So basically in a database management system, a domain is a set of values that can be assigned to a column in a database table. Means just I am talking about layman language, domain means data type. We can say suppose जब भी आप create when you are creating a table, every column you need to specify the data type. Data type means that particular column can accept data as for their data type. Suppose I am creating ID mentioning integer, means that particular column only store integer value. If I am providing character, that will generate error. Okay, because here we are applying a constraint or rule. Yes, this column need to accept this type value only. So this is called domain. Domain is just set of data types. You can use character, date, whatever you want. But as every column you have to set a data type. मीन्स जब भी आप टेबल कोई क्रिएट करते हैं तो जैसे ही आप किसी कॉलम का नाम मेंशन करते हैं, आपके साथ उसके साथ डेटा टाइप एक असाइन करते हैं. ये बताता है कि ये कॉलम इसी डेटा टाइप की वैल्यू लेगा. अगर करेक्टर है मीन्स दैट कैन एक्सेप्ट करेक्टर. ओके. सॉरी गाइस, थोड़ा सर्दी हो गया है इसलिए बार बार. ओके. So in database management system, a domain is a set of values that can be assigned to a column in a database table. And domain are important because they help to ensure that the data is accurate and consistent. Domains can be built in or custom type. Built in means, I like integer and string, they are built in character, built in varchar, and also you can create custom data type. Okay. For example, roll number can only be a positive integer. A data type is also specified for each column, each domain, and it is possible for several attributes to have the same domain. Yes, this is possible. I like first name, last name can have same data type. So a domain is a set of valid values that can be used in a column. A domain can be built-in type such as string or integer. A domain can also be a custom type that define constant on the data. A domain can have optional constraint which are restriction on the value that can be used. And a domain is a pool of values from which the values in a column are taken. Now, so what type of information particular domain can contain? First is data type. Yes, data database provides support of different types of data and their variant. For example, integer and float. We have already discussed. Length means yes. Length means number of character or digit that can particular attributes can contain. As like you are creating a name, I just providing 20. It means that column cannot accept कैरेक्टर मोर देन 20. तो जब भी आप कोई कॉलम क्रिएट करते जाते हैं तो इन चीज़ों को हमें ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल वैल्यू क्या हो सकती है. अगर आपको लगता है कि नेम में 50 कैरेक्टर होंगे देन असाइन 50 कैरेक्टर. लेंथ जस्ट असाइन 50 and we have date format. So a date contains day, month and year, and also depend which type of information you want to store. Just you want to store date and in which format, that is DTMMY, MMBDY, or YMMBD, or with honor, hour and second. So you can choose date format as per your requirement. Range is basically it's specified as like a lower and upper bound. ओके जस्ट सपोज कोई कॉलम है, अगर मुझे इसमें वैल्यू इंसर्ट करना है कि लेस देन 25 नहीं होनी चाहिए, मोर देन 75 नहीं होना चाहिए, तो वी कैन डिसाइड. ओके, and constant basically these are particular type of condition that put restriction on the that particular column in which uh, values that are allowed. I like अगर किसी column पे हमने लगा दिया है constraint की this column cannot accept integer value, then that column will not accept, because here we are putting a rule. And some particular attributes may remain blank. For suppose for example, in a column pen number may be blank as person may have not value. And relational data model also support default value. If nothing is entered, database assign a default value, and relational model support the facility that the default value may be set for every attributes. Now attributes just like a column. Suppose you are creating a table. Okay, you are just creating a table. Now just see here. See here. This is a table. Okay. This are attributes. This is column name attributes. This is record. This is called tuple. And this whole is relation means table. So attributes are characteristics of a relation. Each column in a table is attributes. Okay. So here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 attributes. Means roll number is attributes, first name is attributes, last name is attributes, and sex is also attributes. So attributes are the properties which define a relation. Roll number, first name. Okay. Now there are four type of attributes we can say. There can be more than four types also. So first attributes is composite versus simpler attributes. So composite attributes can be subdivided in smaller attributes, as like the name of a student can be divided in first name, last name and middle name. कहने का मतलब है कंपोजिट एट्रीब्यूट्स वो एट्रीब्यूट्स होते हैं जो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पार्ट में हम डिवाइड कर सकते हैं. जैसे किसी बच्चे का नाम, तो फर्स्ट नेम, मिडिल नेम, लास्ट नेम हो सकता है. And on the other hand, the simple attributes are the attributes that cannot be subdivided into smaller attributes, as like roll number of a student cannot divided in smaller attribute, because अगर आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर है तो वो दो पार्ट में डिवाइड नहीं हो सकता, रोल नंबर दो पार्ट में डिवाइड नहीं हो सकता. That is simple attributes. Now single valued and multi valued. So single valued attributes are the attributes that have a single value for a particular entity, एज लाइक द लास्ट नेम. अगर आपका लास्ट नेम है तो वो सिंगल एंटिटी है. ओके, उसकी वैल्यू एक ही होगी. सपोज माय नेम इज प्रदीप यादव, तो यादव इज लास्ट नेम, दैट विल बी ओनली वन. ओके, of one employer or one entity. But the multi attributes can have more than one value for a particular entity, as like a phone number. Yes, person can have more than one phone number, that is multi-valued. Now third is derived versus stored attributes. So derived attributes are the attributes whose values can be derived from the value of some other attributes. I like age of the student can be derived from the date of birth of the student. If I know what is your date of birth, so on the current date I can tell you what is your age. कहने का मतलब है अगर किसी कैंडिडेट का मुझे डेट ऑफ बर्थ पता है तो मैं आज बता सकता हूँ कि उसकी उम्र क्या है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो एज है वो डेट ऑफ बर्थ पर डिपेंड करता है. So date of birth will called stored attributes and age will called derived attributes. जैसे जैसे आपका डेट ऑफ बर्थ चेंज होगा, मतलब वेरी करेगा, वैसे आपकी एज वेरी करेगी. इट्स टोटली डिपेंड ऑन दी योर डेट ऑफ बर्थ. Null attributes. So and certain entity may not possess a value for an attribute. For example, there may be chance when a student has no phone number. In that case, the phone number attributes is called null attributes. And I think this is last slide. So tuple we have already discussed, that is A single row of a table. Relation, that is a table that is stored data in the form of rows and column. A relation schema means basically this is design of table. If you want to see, just create a table and just click on the right click and you can see the design. Degree means is the number of attributes of its relation schema. Means here you can see the example roll number, first number, last number, six means degree of that is 4. Cardinality means total number of row present in the table, and we have no value, null value we have already discussed. So this is all about in this lecture, and I think I hope you understand ki what is the advantage of relational data models and limitation of data relational data model, and also what are components, what is domain, and what domain information, and also we have discussed about the attributes and many attributes type, and also some terminologies which are used in relational data model. So thank you for listening me. If you have any query regarding this, you can ask by putting comment. Thank you.